I
So,
refrain from doing it just for a couple of things that like sometimes not so much in these circles, but in some other circles, they'll assume like, oh, it's greenish yellow. It works where, it works for everything, where it really just works for certain situations, because the plant has that color prana, but it's like it's already pre-directed to certain areas of the body. So it's a little bit more complicated than that. And then the other thing is that usually every oil, when it's a genuine oil, cycles through about five different colors, like or five, different color variations. And so it might start out green, and then it might go violet, and then it might go pink, and then it depends. And then to make it even more complicated, the location, like you can have the same plant, but different locations produce like a different color. And then how it's distilled, be it high heat, low heat, will also produce different colors. So it's really hard to say like this is a particular thing because it has so many variations. So there's no really solid way to say it and have it always be accurate. So that's why I don't really go into that very much.
that was really helpful. And
Yeah.
thank you
Like
for
the
clarifying that.
eucalyptuses are usually pretty solid. Like there's not a big variation, but like you take something even like marjoram or perfect example is Melissa. Um there's different grades of Melissa that float around out there. And then depending on how it's distilled, it doesn't always have the same effect because like location and the distillation process um don't always make the Melissa that we know as Melissa. um Samantha has, like, when she first we were doing things, she was like, oh, I hate Melissa. And I was like, really? God, I love Melissa. And then she smelled the Melissa that I had, and she was like, that's not Melissa, like, or, whatever she said. And it was very different than the Melissa that she had experienced. And even when she started taking it internally, she goes, yeah, that other Melissa doesn't do this. So there's like kind of cheaper versions of things where, or lower grade, that the color is different, the potency is different, and even the effects on the physiology can be different. And so, I like things like Melissa, I buy the most premium version I can find, like different things like that. Sometimes I'll spend a lot more getting something that, I could get it like a lot cheaper. Ginger is a good example, or rosemary verbena is a really super good example. There's a bunch of cheap rosemary verbena out there.
Well, Greg, that's
It's
why I'm faithful to you. Are
I
you
guess
kidding
that's
me?
me.
I
But
know
it's
this
like
about you.
I get the one that I think is going to be the most therapeutic. And if we were just trying to throw things out there, like I could do much cheaper versions of it. But like I want the bomb, whatever it is. Like I want the best one. And so the colors sometimes are different, and definitely the qualities or the properties will be different. And so, you know, hard to do it like across the board for the colors because of that. I mean, there's some ones like tea trees and eucalyptuses are pretty easy to stay within the parameters, but even things like marjoram and stuff, there's different versions of it. And so like I I've resisted putting out that material, except like in conversation and stuff. But you know, like with oils, green is green, but it doesn't necessarily work for everything the way, like if you projected green towards the feet and then go, but the ears still are doing the same thing. It's like, well, you projected green at the feet. Like that can happen with the oils. The tea trees and the eucalyptuses can kind of be broad spectrum green. But some of the other things that might be green, they're not quite that broad spectrum, if that makes sense. I know I'm rambling, but